What's up, this is GM, and before I start, I want to tell you about TubeBuddy. In case you don't know, TubeBuddy is a free website that will help you manage and grow your YouTube channel. Thanks to them, some of my videos even show up as top results. Want to give them a try? Check the description below for the link. Today's product is the LENTION standing desk. As you can see, it's very big. I couldn't even get it completely in frame, but don't worry, I'll be getting closer looks at things, that way you get a better idea of the item. In the box we had the desk and just some of the pieces that you need for assembling it, as well as instructions for assembly. It's super quick to assemble. It only took me like 5 minutes. It's not that hard at all. So I'll start off by going over some general info, then going into my thoughts on it with a final pros and cons list. So it is about 35.4 inches by 22.6 inches for the desk area on top, for the top piece only. You can fit dual monitors. It can support 33 pounds on the main desk and 5 pounds on the keyboard tray. It has a gas spring for adjusting the height between 5.6 inches and 19.3 inches. It has a phone/tablet holder, which you can probably make out right here. And it also weighs about 48.8 pounds, so it is pretty heavy. It's made of wood, PVC, and steel. So let's start off by just taking a quick look at this item. So obviously you can see we have the main desk on top. So I'll go ahead and move the angle just a bit so it's a little easier to see. So we have the main desk on top. It is very big. We have the phone holder. It's not the deepest. It's probably about an inch deep, which you don't want it to be too deep anyways because you want to still be able to see your phone. Then we have the tray on the bottom right here. And you can see on the back it does have a little kind of wall, so that way nothing just slides past it, as well as little slots so your wires can go through. And let me see if I can get a slightly better angle down there. All right, so I went ahead and lowered it to the very lowest it can go. I'll show you on the side here, we have the lever for raising and lowering it. So what I'll do is I'll set up my phone right about here and just raise it back up. And for raising it, you really just need to pull the lever. Be careful not to be directly above it because it might hit you in the face, but here we go. And that is the max height. And then if you want to lower it, you just pull the lever again and push downward. It doesn't take a ton of force to push it back down. As you can see, I can do it without having to put like a full hand down, and back up we go. So it does get very flat, as you probably noticed. It gets very flat, which is good because then it makes it easier to take with you. Let's say you are moving. This will be very, very handy to have it completely flat like this. I'll go ahead and raise it back up real quick though, so I can show you, let's see how well of an angle I can get on that. So you should be able to see a small knob right here. This is on both sides, so what you can do is you can loosen them both, and you can raise and lower this stand if you need it at a certain angle as well. So I'll go ahead and tighten it back up to lock it back in place. And I do like that they gave you this nice little keyboard stand as well, because I feel like this is very helpful, especially if you are using dual monitors on top. Personally, I don't use dual monitors. Not always, sometimes I do, but for most cases, what I'm using this for is to have 2 laptops on top and then a book and a keyboard down here if I need to. This is really handy for me who, personally, I need to have usually 2 laptops open at once because I need to do multitasking. I have 2 laptops. It's a little easier than having a monitor because monitors are pretty big and a little bit more expensive. So I thought it would be cheaper to get 2 laptops. So I'll show what that looks like. As you can see, I don't actually currently have this on a table because I thought it would be a little bit easier to show you the overall look of this. I'll go ahead and show you this side as well. As you can see, it is pretty wide there, so you want to make sure it can fit on your desk. All right, so I went ahead and just kind of set up a couple things to give you an idea of how big this whole thing is. So down here I have my keyboard. Like I said, I sometimes keep a keyboard or a book down here. This is a pretty large keyboard as well that I'm using. It is a gaming keyboard. And usually I'll keep a keyboard here, or I'll keep a half keyboard, and I'll just plug the keyboard into one of my laptops, and I would actually connect my 2 laptops together to use it as a dual screen. But this is kind of like my layout. I like to have 2 laptops here instead because I have a 2-in-1. I can also just turn around like this and keep this one a little bit closer. But usually I'll use this one more so for taking notes, for drawing on and stuff, and use my Alienware for the actual work that I'm doing. So I'd keep this keyboard connected to this laptop and just use this kind of as a dual screen as is, or just use this for note taking, however I kind of need to. And then I can just keep my phone right here. Pros include the ease of raising and lowering it, the vast height difference you can put it at, the area it has to work with, the keyboard slot, the phone holder, and it's just really easy to assemble as well. And at the bottom has some little rubber pieces so that way it doesn't slip around as well, which is really important when you have something this big that will also be holding very important things on top of it. The only real con I can see is the weight, which might be an issue for some people. However, once you set it on a table, you probably won't be putting it on another one. I wouldn't see any reason for you to have to keep moving it around very often. And also the fact that it goes so flat is great just for transporting it if you ever were to move, which is way more convenient than an actual full-size adjustable table. From what I can tell, those standing tables that are like an actual table, they can be kind of a pain to assemble and disassemble, and they don't really stay as confined as something like this, which goes pretty much completely flat, which is great. Alright, that's it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment below as well. Thank you for watching. Link to the product will be in the description below.